Alongside arms and links. Yeah. Love amongst your brethren. The greatest thing on earth. It's like heaven on earth. Rastafari give birth. Listen.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to this special and impactful episode of Child Shield TV. In this episode, we are going to discuss the facts about our history. As we title the podcast, Echoes of Our Past, the facts behind our history. We'll be looking at Sierra Leone as a place to start a new life for Black loyalists, that is the province of freedom, to British colonizing or Britain colonizing us Sierra Leoneans. Also, we'll be looking at the hot tax war, the resistance of our beloved ancestors, and so on and so forth. In this episode, I have with me in the table today a historian and a researcher by the far right corner, a youth activist just close to me here, and a stakeholder by my left hand side as the only Iron Lady in our podcast today. So welcome all, you're all welcome. I'm your host, Jaro Mohammed Sali is my name. Let us first look at why Britain came to Sierra Leone. I will start with you, Abbas, as our historian in today's episode. Can you break it down for us? What was the reason why Britain, British abolists and philanthropists came to Sierra Leone? What make British then become a Sierra Leone?
Alright, thank you very much, Mr. Charo. The British colony first came in Sierra Leone in the year 1787, and their aim for them to depart in Sierra Leone by then was to oppose against the transatlantic slave trade. And by 1808, they signed a document for the colonization of Sierra Leone. By 1808, they settled in Freetown. And some of the reasons why they decided to settle in Sierra Leone was for the resettlement of the slave, the strategic location, missionary, and also the economic interest we have in our country, Sierra Leone.
Right, thank you very much for taking to the year the British abolists the Beacon and Sierra Leone for can settle some number of Black loyalists there. I come to you as a stakeholder and community. I don't really talk about this thing to go know more. You get any other thing for talk? What do you make you think say Britain or British abolists the Beacon and Sierra Leone at the first place?
So like we say, the British people in Sierra Leone, one, for carry settle the free slave then. Two, one of the motivation are humanitarian and political after the abolition of the slave trade. Two, the British people needed a place to resettle this Black loyalists. So the British people they choose Sierra Leone as a place where they can safe, where they will resettle the slaves them here so, and also for let them begin a new life beginning. So the place where them be found in Freetown, Sierra Leone, where we call the coastal of freedom.
Right, thank you very much for taking me through. Yes, one of the places where they become settled, the Black loyalists, we call the province of freedom. Thank you very much. We I think say from the Freetown, the name Freetown generates from. Alright, let's come to you as we only youth activist now the studio John Blessing kind of. You can take me through when the British government became Sierra Leone and what make them become Sierra Leone.
Alright, thank you Mr. Jallo for that wonderful question. Well, the British government came to Sierra Leone in the year 1792 to 1808. And the British government came to Sierra Leone mainly for can enforce the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade. And in 1807, they signed the document, and in 1808, Sierra Leone became a colonial republic.
For take me through when they become and within as some of these they will then become. La come to you again as the only Iron Lady. Within some of the activities then where the British government being undertake with the Ghana Sierra Leone way back from 1792 to 1808 with the Ghana Sierra Leone.
Okay, which is the sign the document in 1807. So in 1808, then colonized Sierra Leone. One of the activities then we embark on the interceptive of the slave ship. So like then be able to save some slave them way be they inside the slave ship way, and later relocate them in Sierra Leone. So because of this, Boko people then from different parts of Africa then come together and then they form a group. We end up forget a tribe where we call KRIO, where we get now in Sierra Leone particularly.
Alright, thank you very much. Well, listeners, as already, one of the things the way the British government been do, we then signed the abolition of the slave trade way back in 1807. The British Navy being intercept different ships, the one of which was an illegal ship where we contain slaves them we then call the captive, where they be caught back in Sierra Leone. And then people have been get them black people or them slaves they come from different parts of West Africa. If you think about Nigeria, if you think about Liberia, if you think about Ghana, different parts of Africa. So when they come together, they decide to create a language we known as KRIO right now. We're not able to talk so. But fun fact though about KRIO not be always the name KRIO, right? They be call them Creole, and so they be call them back then. Then later on, then call them KRIO when a KRIO. But first they not also they call them. So I think you don't learn new thing about KRIO identity right now. Alright, listeners, we now stay there and watch as we get a quick cultural music break. We will come back.
Alongside arms and links. Yeah. Love amongst your brethren, the greatest thing on earth. It's like heaven on earth. Rastafari give birth. Listen.
Oh yeah. Jealousy said. That's right. Disrespect we say. Oh yeah. Let we help we say. Oh yeah. A condition of permanent. That's right. Even for the big one in my parliament. Togetherness. Oh yeah. They bring progress. That's right. Let we get we country interest. And interest when we say. We all go work upon success. Now, people, do you make we come together forever? We country just go, they go stronger. Selfish that matters and Congos are no proper. Because we drink and boku of a flava alba. Look how we country turn back. We get this, we get that, but still they suffer. People, do you make we come together forever? We country just go, they go stronger. Selfish that matters and Congos are no proper. Because we drink and boku of a flava alba. Look how we country turn back. We get this, we get that, but still they suffer. We left sectionalism. Oh yeah. Favoritism. That's right. Easy man's kissing. Oh yeah. Corruption. Oh yeah. Suppression. That's right. Oppression. We want unity. Oh yeah. justice with purity. That's right. In our society. Well, make we self and try for do things for ourselves. So we no go sit down, we sit alone for dumb. No try for pull the bump, no me left you only dumb. That's for done, and this is precious gone. So let we get on the run, so that go done and we gone, yeah. Check it out, man.
To have love amongst your friends is the greatest thing. That's why me meditation, I write a song, me sing, me not eat me friend. To them have bling bling. It's a humble servant, I become a king. The wicked.
Alright, viewers, welcome back to the final segment of this week's special episode of Child Shield TV, where we titled Echoes of Our Past, the facts behind our history as Sierra Leoneans. Me nami na una host today, Jalo Mohamed Saliu nami your name. Let's begin to this final side where we talk about resistance and political awakening. We most of we know a favorite side that when it comes to Sierra Leone colonialism history or Sierra Leone colonial history. Let's ask this question to you, Maimuna, to ask the only Iron Lady and the only traditional stakeholder in our studio today. Now, looking at the resistance and the resistance and political awakening, one of the key factors that will come about the resistance and the hot tax war. Now, you can tell me when they impose this hot tax and what it make, which is them being imposed into we the local people or the local people by them.
Okay, the hot tax war, like, then be imposed in Sierra Leone by the British people in 1898. So in 1898, the British colonial government then decide for impose the hot tax war to the local populations there, the protectorate where in Sierra Leone. So what to make the imposer? The imposer for let the able raise money because the hot tax war in require for let the local population then they pay for each hunt where they live in. So like I just don't mention the is which make them impose this hot tax war to the local populations then. Now for raise money in order for let the able develop the British colonial administration. And also they still say when they impose the local population there in this home tax war, like then they able pay the tax so that they go reach the payment for that they able support the business so that then labor will become cheap. So with all this thing so Sierra Leone people and so many Sierra Leone people they see this home tax war as an unfair thing, like a threat not alive. Because some Sierra Leonean they like not able to get something like a living. Like,
even hand to much.
Yes, and so much. Yes, thank you very much. So with all this, like Sierra Leonean people then be find it difficult. So
very much for take me through how the hot tax war starts. I mean, how the hot tax starts first, and what it didn't come about the resistance. Some of the things that we didn't come about why make people let me resist and what it may cause the war. Thank you very much for taking me through. Yes, indeed. After they established or they introduced the hot tax in 1898. British people have been expect every dwelling house or every hut for make them pay a cash or make them do a labor we go compensate the hot tax the amount by then. We don't know what's the amount. We are not sure if any of we thing for look into that. Well, one of the things the way the British government they expect the chieftain for make them collect their tax there and also make them enforce other rule them way the British government be done already put span the local people. And one of the things they were thinking and they make people like Bible and other traditional leaders, of course I don't begin with traditional leaders them already, they make them resist now because all of these taxes they be imposed on local people them, not be they impose on every person maybe they live in Sierra Leone. Meaning, this tax not be include the weight they will be in Sierra Leone, it be only include the local people them, the indigenous people them, where they live now. So we say very much difficult as you team and they say, a very much difficult for make them they get even hand to mouth, right? So that will make many people be they resist and say and say no able, because if that person they struggle for making get in hand to mouth and you pull and paradise struggle, say let me work for you for make it compensate what you supposed to pay. We be say that in get the land already, it be that kind of degrading and people have been take and say this now other kind of slavery with the past. So that will make people that they resist. Thank you very much for taking me through. What you will talk about how other figures then were them be very much important and the hot tax war. Right? He talk about the team leader winner by way from Kase, now we they call the Football districts. So you can tell me a little bit how by way being resist and what are some of the things that we even do for make sure say the people that don't say waiting the British then they do so very much unjust.
In 1898, when the British man then imposed the hot tax on the local population there, the Sierra Leoneans them, so Bible as the head, like nine and forced for resist. So when he resist, and followers then decide for resist as well. So the with man and decide for take notice, say okay, then people are then maybe adamant. So Bible come with one plan where the Bible decide for launch a guerrilla attack to the British people where they end up for destroy the trade where the British people be don't develop in Sierra Leone. The trade in timber and also the palm oil and other resources there. In the year November 1898, Bible was captured and then they exiled to the Gold Coast, where now presently we call Ghana.
Alright, thank you very much for taking me through some of the activities that we Bible have been undertake just for make a resist against the hot tax way the British government be imposed on the local people or the indigenous people. And thank you very much for taking me through. I'll come back to you, John, as a youth activist and also a cultural educator. You know more about the people that will be involved in the hot tax war. You don't remember to talk about one of the key figures they win about. You can take me through now the southern part of now the southern and eastern part of Sierra Leone also, the people that will be involved, where they will also resist.
In the southern province and eastern part of Sierra Leone, there is a military chief by the name of Nangwa, Kase and Kandekapa and others. These people, they attack the British officials, the KRIO traders and collaboration. Their uprising was fragmented, but they resist. Though the British won the war, the British won the war, but at least the British know that how resistant these people was. Thank you.
And this will be involved in the resistance of the hot tax where the British government be imposed on the local people then. Now this is not just a curious question that come to you as a historian, Abbas, as a historian and also a researcher as you be. I know you don't need to talk about this a whole lot of times. Within your own view, a point of view, as possibly know more about the history of Sierra Leone, you think say even though the hot tax be some kind of unjust something where the British government they impose on local people. But you know what we say now, because probably one way or the other because of the hot tax, then plant the seed of independence at the minds of Sierra Leoneans then?
I agree 100% say the hot tax when I led to the seed of independence of Sierra Leoneans then. Because looking at the hot tax war now something will be unfair now the people's them. So like and when they stress the people them for pay this hot tax and then they left also the British people them they not pay this hot tax. So the people them also be distressed because not everybody will raise income for pay this hot tax. And also they will refuse for pay this tax because they will look suspicious to the British education, like they one can debunk the young goods and traditional goods. So like the hot tax will lead to independence of them people there because then they can see if them be now when they not be independent and make the British colony they cow them goods there and then tax there for pay because they are not independent. So the hot tax will might lead to the state of independence.
Alright, thank you very much. Yes, indeed, some man agree say now because of the hot tax war that will be a beginning of the whisper way people have been getting at their mind. Thank you very much for taking me through that day. Quick one before we wrap up the podcast. Abbas, as a historian and a researcher, whenever we talk about independence era, we get a name where they play so much. We na Multimagai. You can tell we small team or Bokuti about Multimagai.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Charo. The first is Milton Magai was born on the 7th of December 1895 and he passed away on the 28th of April 1964. So after he passed away, his brother Albert Magai takes his place from 1964 to 1967. Magai advocates for peaceful negotiation with the British, and he also brings unity among the ethnic groups in Sierra Leone in terms of tribalism. He's a good guy and he creates more impact in the beginning of independence for our country, Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much for taking me through that side. I'll come to you, Lemonatu, as a stakeholder, and also you know much about the Sierra Leone history and what makes Sierra Leone come as be one for be a republic. So you can take me through why Sierra Leone decide for be a republic all of a sudden.
Okay, so the reason what makes Sierra Leone decide for be a republic because of Pan-African influence. So Sierra Leone CNC, like many African countries there, like where them be there with the Commonwealth, with the British people there, we don't become a republic. So Sierra Leone back and say them back for become a republic so that then go be free, like how the other African people are free, so how then they rule themselves, them back one for rule themselves.
Alright, thank you very much for taking me through. Actually, you know, ever know say because of Pan-Africanism that makes Sierra Leone being pushed for independence. I mean, if you say now because of the hot tax or because of some other discrimination and unjust way the British people that they do that make people that may resist. I don't ever notice now because of Pan-Africanism and because of other countries them like Nigeria and other countries that we don't get independent. And we took our say, of course, we serve as a country, we need for the republic. Thank you very much for taking me through that side. I hope say listeners and viewers down there don't know say this is not the reason to make Sierra Leone be one for be a republic, and this is not the reason we push Samuel Timagai for make a peacefully negotiate with the British people and among other people that will be part of that negotiation they for make we get an independence as we get it now. By the way, as today on the 27th of April, for which we all happy Independence Day. A quick one before we wrap up the podcast. Now we all say few things on few advices on the things they will think say youth them need for do, Sierra Leoneans them as a patriot citizen, the things that we need for do. Let's start with you as the only lady the studio today. You can give me your last saying or last advice to Sierra Leoneans them to patriot citizen them.
Okay, so my advice way I can give my fellow Sierra Leonean and that when we prioritize we country. Like Sierra Leone now we own like we for like self. Like we love we come together as one. Like now we not look to political party or whether you party A or party B. Now we just see ourselves as one. Because if we can look at the ancestors, they like they don't do a lot for let we able gain independence and also for let Sierra Leone able for be republic today. So I want to continue for the prioritize the country and also for wish me fellow Sierra Leoneans out there say a happy independence to all. Thank you.
Alright, thank you very much. Yes, indeed. We need for prioritize we country and we need for forget whenever it comes to development. We need for forget about which political party you support or which side you dey, which tribe you dey. We all are Sierra Leonean at the end. It no matter whose tribe, you know whose tribe, you know whose religion, you know whose political party they represent or they support. At the end, we all are Sierra Leoneans there. You need to say, me na this, me na that. Me na Sierra Leonean, right, when it comes to development. So thank you very much for that advice. Let's come to you as a cultural educator. I know say these are things where most time they can ask you what are your advice to people then, and as a youth activist also, what are your advice to youth then? Because if you look at the Sierra Leone population, almost 90% of the Sierra Leone population are youth then. So what are your advice to the company youth then?
Alright, as we celebrate the Independent Day today, I want to speak directly to the youth, the heartbeat of our nation. We are the future that our founding fathers dreamed of. But this future came with responsibility. Our freedom was not given free, it was fought for. So it is our responsibility to protect and build on it. Right? Let us be that kind of generation that values education, and also let's be those individuals that practice innovation and entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Alright, thank you very much for that advice. Of course, we as youth, we need for say Sierra Leone and country, and we need for work as patriotic citizen there. You as youth, we don't involve yourself one way or the other for Kushida, for Tikam or for Sela, we plead with you. As a patriotic citizen, you need for do more for your country. Not ask what your country don't do for you, but what you don't do for your country. Because for the mere fact you don't born as Sierra Leone, until you don't reach that age, we say you there, even if you just be 15 or 16, right? You be part of adolescent age. Abbas, you can able to take me through your own advice to people.
Thank you very much. Well, as an historian and researcher, okay, final say through the history of Sierra Leone, where a lot of warriors and people they will put the efforts in the gaining of independence for Sierra Leone. Warriors like Bebue and Samuel Maguires and John C. These are all people that will come together for let Sierra Leone gain independence. So like that passion they want each and every Sierra Leonean for let India for let develop this country. Since initially John Sierra Leone will say with freedom not just until we get free, now until we fight for. So why make no for developer? We country don't look for FORGGOTEN, they don't go this way as people in the country. So let me also ask yourself, what thing we do for the country, let we come together. Don't forget about tribalism, politics, that's all to the build development. So as a historian and researcher, I understand for say to the audience there. And I want to say happy Independence Day to each and every one of the viewers there.
Alright, thank you very much for that. Well, that's Nabi Abbas, the only historian we get inside we studio today. And his advice was very much simple. We don't get so many warriors then we don't fight for the freedom of this country, for the freedom of we right now where we get alive. You be a youth, you be an adolescent, you be old age person, then people there we don't fight for you, your freedom. And now we don't reach at this side, we start we don't reach, so let me make sure say we don't let them their own fight, their own blood and sweat go in vain. Thank you very much for that. Yes, of course, history not to just a story, now something where we need for reflect on. This now an advice to every Sierra Leonean. Make we try for the reflect on history because not all the story. Remember from a machete inside the forest to microphone inside parliament, the journey of Sierra Leone not to one just for watch as a story, but one way they fought with courage, sacrifice, and they get a purpose. Thank you very much. This been done being a special edition of Child Shield TV, where they come to now live now we online TV station. Thank you very much for watching this special episode where we titled Echoes of Our Future, the fact behind Sierra Leone history. Maybe don't serve as our host. Jallo Mohammed Salina Minin, and this will don't be a Child Shield TV, a side we side we discuss things them we think say and they affect picking them one way or the other. There they can include the history of Sierra Leone independence and also how we don't fought for make we reach this side we side with it, and how we are speaking them also for fought for reach this side we side one for each. So if you want to know more about Child Shield TV or you want to follow up more for click the subscribe button and also don't forget for comment, like and share. Until then, I for say una thank you. Watch, learn, rise only on Child Shield TV.
We dey ask you, mama, what do you bring for we?